Delegates will be led by President Bola Tinubu, 32 governors and members of this cabinet. The venue of the convention is buzzing with activities preparatory to the commencement of the event. Security personnel from the Police Department of State Services, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC), as well as all the sister agencies are on ground to ensure adequate security, barricading all routes around the Eagle Square. The convention will allow APC members choose national executives who will pilot the affairs of the party ahead of the 2027 general elections. The party had also disclosed it would adopt a consensus approach for the selection of national leaders during the convention in demonstration of its unity and orderliness in the party. The Dangote refinery has reduced its gantry price of premium motor spirits, popularly known as petrol, to 1,200 naira. Its spokesperson, Anthony Chejina, made this known in an interview today, Friday, saying the refinery also pegged its coastal price deliveries to depot at 1,150 naira per litre, a development expected to reshape fuel supply cost across Nigeria's downstream distribution chain. According to him, the price adjustment represents a downward review in the refinery's pricing template, coming at a time of heightened uncertainty in the global oil markets driven by geopolitical tensions in the Middle East. Chidena maintained that the price adjustment represents a downward review in the refinery's ex-depot pricing and is expected to potentially ease supply costs for marketers and influencing pump prices at retail outlets. Away from Nigeria, journalists in the Democratic Republic of the Congo are facing mounting threats as conflict intensifies in the east, according to a body reporters. Reporters Without Borders. The country has become one of the most dangerous places for media workers in Africa's Great Lakes region. Authorities and armed groups alike are accused of restricting media freedom since M23 rebels seized key eastern cities in 2025. In Congo, journalist reports reduced drastically due to fear of reprisals, arrest, and forced compliance. Around 500 journalists have been arrested over the past decade, while some have been held in harsh conditions, including overcrowded makeshift prisons controlled by M23 rebels. Nearly 90 journalists have fled violence in the eastern provinces, underscoring a rapidly deteriorating environment for independent reporting. More African countries have continued to raise concerns on the death of their citizens tricked into fighting for Russia and its war in Ukraine. Against the backdrop of recruitment drives across the continent, Zimbabwe has become the latest to announce that its nationals have died on the front lines. Zimbabwean authorities disclosed that 15 people lured to Russia through social media posts by shadowy agencies promising lucrative jobs have been killed. The country information minister Zoda Zemo revealed that more than 60 Zimbabweans were still trapped on the front lines. He added that the government was in talks with Russian authorities to ensure that the bodies of the deceased are repatriated and those who are still alive returned home safely. You are listening to Vicinity 95.3 FM, Mekejle, Ijesha, transmitted live. Global News will continue shortly.
Music, sports, entertainment, politics, all on your darling station, Vicinity 95.3 FM, Ikejile, Ijesha.
Thanks for staying tuned for these updates and live streaming. Visit our website at vicinity953fm.com.ng. You can also provide us information via email at vicinitynewsroom@gmail.com or call 070-6108-3107. Now the rest of the news. The United Nations Security Council will hold closed-door consultations on Friday to disclose attacks on Iran at Moscow's request as the Middle East war nears its second month. Iran has come under near daily bombardments since US-Israeli strikes on February 28 triggered the war, which had since spread to other parts of the region. The Russian Federation has requested closed-door consultations with the UN Security Council due to ongoing strikes on civilian infrastructure, education, and healthcare facilities in Iran. According to authorities, a strike on the first day of the war hit a school in the southern Iranian city of Minab, killing more than 160 children. Plenary reports of by U.S. military investigations reportedly showed that U.S. Tomahawk cruise missile hit the school after it was mistakenly targeted. The UN Human Rights Council will hold a separate meeting today, Friday, in Geneva, focused on the deadly school strike. Indian Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said taxes on diesel and petrol has reduced as Middle East war that began late last month continues to disrupt global energy supplies. The South Asian nation, one of the world's largest crude oil importers, relies on foreign suppliers for more than 85% of its oil needs, with Russia being the biggest supplier. The Rahman said taxes on petrol and diesel have been slashed by 10 rupees a litre to provide protection to consumers from rise in prices. She also announced the charges on export of diesel and aviation fuel at 21.5 rupees and 29.5 rupees and petrol per litre. The oil minister Adib Singh Puri said while India has nearly 2 months of steady supply available for every citizen, regardless of what happens globally, it is also closely monitoring developments across energy supply chains and essential commodities. The oil minister also asked citizens not to be misled by misinformation and unjustified panic over oil supply. A bit of sports. The Super Eagles of Nigeria will take on Iran in an international friendly at the Antalya Stadium in Turkey today, Friday, following their return to action since securing bronze medal at the 2025 African Cup of Nations AFCON. The encounter marks the third meeting between both nations, with Nigeria holding a slight advantage from previous clashes, having recorded one win and a draw. Nigerian head into the game from a position of cautious optimism despite the lingering disappointment of failing to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup after FIFA rejects the NFF's request to disqualify Congo from the playoffs over the use of ineligible players. The Super Eagles coach Eric Chell, the friendly represents more than a routine exercise that serves as a platform to test combinations, assess depth as he introduces new personnel into the national setup. To end global news, another look at the major stories. The All Progressives Congress (APC) today held its 2026 National Convention at Eagle Square, Abuja, with no fewer than 8,433 delegates expected to participate from across the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT amid tight security. We told you that journalists in the Democratic Republic of the Congo are facing mounting threats as conflict intensifies in the eastern region. According to a body, Reporters Without Border, the country has become one of the most dangerous places for media workers in Africa's Great Lakes region. Last we heard the UN Security Council We hold closed-door consultations today, Friday, to discuss attacks on Iran at Moscow's request as the Middle East war nears its second month. And just before we go, the last line: happiness is not a goal, it's a byproduct of a life well lived. That was Global News. It was edited by Aisha Ibrahim. On behalf of the production team, I'm Oluwafunke Israel. Many thanks for listening. Please stay tuned for news nationwide at 6 o'clock. Good afternoon.